What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardway garage, where everything we do should be easy, but it always ends up being the most difficult way possible. Today we're gonna change a U-joint and hopefully get a drive shaft back in a truck that has been stuck for well over a week because it's been so damn cold. It's 52 degrees right now, afternoon, beautiful sunny day, snow is melting fast, and here is our problem. So this thing, a little broken U-joint, conversion joint, a 1350 to a 1310, which both are way undersized for this truck. But obviously the 1310s snapped clear off. It's already pulled the drive shaft out and it's down in the shop. Ordered some new parts to remedy this. Let's go take a look at what those parts are. So here's our goodie bag from Summit Racing. A whole bunch of packing, which I'm gonna save because I imagine something is wrong because it has to be the hard way. I've already dug through here. New yoke. So I've got a divorced NP205 from an old, I assume 70s Ford. So I got that was a 1310, which is why I had the conversion joint. Popping that off, putting a 1350 on. I was gonna go with a 1410, but I didn't want to deal with another conversion joint going from a 1350 to a 1410. That would have been pretty silly. So straight 1350, easy to find. Got the U-joint. Probably already last. Nope, didn't lose the Zerk fitting. Straight 1350, that'll go in. Hopefully easier than harder. And I bought some little strap kit to go with that because I don't think the other one would fit. So that's the plan. I've got to pop the other yoke off. I already had it off once to count the splines and measure it. So we're going to test fit this one, see if it fits. I think there's a dust cover. I got to pop off the other one and stick on this one. But what should be an hour-long job will probably take much longer. I stink at changing U-joints, so that'll be a fun struggle to watch, and you can learn exactly what not to do. Let's get down to it. All right, so here we are laying in a hole in the mud. Gonna get filthy, and let's get the yoke out and see if the new one fits. So here it is. That was easy. Comparing this is already seeing some differences, so this is not super good. A little different fit. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem. Probably will. Still gonna cram it in. Here's the dust cover. I gotta try to pop this off and put it on this one. But things look like they're pretty close. Let's see if the splines match. That's the next piece. So far, so good. Change the dust cover and get this thing reinstalled. All right, so here we are inside the Hardway Garage North. Let's pop this dust cover off. Dust cover removed. Make sure we get our orientation proper. Got some mud, it's always good. Should I clean this? Should. And pretty good fit. right, stage one complete. I do have a press that I probably should have used for that, but why waste time? Let's go back to the truck, get this on, and we'll come back down and swap out the U-joint. Here you can see, this is our good friend, the broken U-joint with my monster homemade drive shaft. Part of a 5-ton drive shaft from a military truck, and part of a stock 1998 Chevy Silverado 2-wheel drive shaft that I booger welded a couple times, but hopefully she holds. All right, so we're back under the truck now. Watch me struggle and sit down. I might change the angle. This is pretty fun. Got wet, muddy ground here, so I'm filthy. That's always how it's gotta be. I dig in my little hole here, and we jump in. Well, screwed that up. Anyway, this is the shot we had. There's my transfer case. We're looking towards the back of the truck. And we hammered that thing home, full torque, on the old impact. Let's go try to put a U-joint in a drive shaft. See how bad this goes. All right, so here we are in our station. We got our drive shaft set up on the vise with the broken ears. Those are garbage, we don't need them. So next up, try to clamp the ears in the vise and do the old pounder out routine. Not in a good way. Okay. Like that. So now we're gonna hit the ears of the yoke on this end on the drive shaft. Should pound the U-joint one way, and then it should pound it back the other. So far, so good. Look at, got them all. Nice. Set that aside over here. Got a nice pile of U-joints. Flip. That was a waste. No bearings left in there. That's junk. And dust covers, bearings. These out. To the garbage pile. So from my experience, the ears are going to be too narrow. That was my issue before, and the clips that hold the U-joint in, they wanted to pop out. So the guy down at my local Napa here in Hardway Garage North told me to put it in a vise and whale the ears with a hammer, spread them open. So I'm going to give that a try before I even do this, just in hopes that I can get enough room. Just confirming some sizes here. Things are looking about right, but I'm still gonna hammer those ears open just a touch. And hopefully I don't break my fantastic weld job here where I erroneously cut this really good slip shaft. First cut I made when I made the monster truck drive shafts. And nice mistake, it was a good one. Not sure if this will do anything, but can't hurt, right? I'm a moron, and I'm going to make mistakes with this, I can tell you for certain. So get ready, this will be good. We got a perfectly good U-joint. I'm gonna tape up 2 of the ends so as not to lose them. I'd like my Zerk fitting kind of facing the, I'll make it face the front of the truck, away from the transfer case. I like to wrap tape around a couple of these caps to leave them so they don't fall off. Hopefully they don't. They will, don't worry. So I usually mess this up. Luckily Napa's not too far away. And if I need to go get another one, that'll just be a waste of 29 bucks. Anyway, this is a Spicer U-joint. See how it goes in. To do this, I don't know if I do this the right way. I pop the caps off very carefully not to lose the bearings. I'll set one aside somewhere where it's not going to fall, hopefully, but it probably will. And pop the other one off, set the U-joint aside. And I like to carefully just start these in the ear. And again, I don't know if this is the proper way, but this is the way that I do it. So I'll flip this. Bearings are good, they're not going to fall out because at least they shouldn't, because they're in there with a little bit of grease. So tipping it sideways, I'll take my hammer, I'll just gently tap it in nice and square, just to get it started. Check the bearings, still looking good, keep tapping. Around the outer edge, bearings are still good. A lot of people tell you to do this with a press, it's probably the right way. I'm not, because it's over there blocked in by another vehicle. And it's good field practice, right? You can do this when this thing breaks in real life elsewhere. So now that the bearing is mostly pressed in, left just enough room, I like to scooch the U-joint into the bearing that the bearing cap I just pushed in. And my theory is that you get it closer to where it needs to live. So now I can take the other cap and start to get that seated, and I can slowly and just slightly move the U-joint back and forth so that I can properly line this up without hopefully jarring any of the bearings. Out of position, I usually feel like one falls on the bottom of the cup, and then that's why I can't ever fit my clips in there. I don't really know. So this is where, very gentle, working my way around the cap, scooching it in. I'll move the bearing over, make sure it will fit in both of them, and I kind of move the bearing or the U-joint back and forth to make sure that no bearings are falling out. So I think we're still in good shape. Maybe. Okay, we are. So now I'm straddling half and half, hoping that we're in good shape. And now I'll start to use the vise to squeeze this so I'm not jarring quite as much. And this should push both caps right together. Working with a miniature vise here, 3.5, maybe 4 inches. There's a Wilton. That's good. Slightly angled accidentally when I installed it. Works for doing drive shafts this way. And one side goes in, and other side goes in. And let's see how we're doing. I'm liking it. U-joint is moving back and forth, fully seating in both caps. Now I'll take my socket. Looks like we're working with 18 mil, first one I grabbed. And I'm going to try to continue pushing these caps in just a touch with the socket. They have to be seated a little bit to get that clip in. Okay. Go a little far with one of them because you can always push it back. Or it will naturally push back. Looks like it's about perfect, to tell you the truth. I'm going to put the clip in now. Okay. comes with a new bag of clips and Zerk fittings. Let's drop that in. Nice clean grooves. Make sure it's seated in there. Flip this over. And I'm actually just going to use a hammer to tap on the socket and hammer this side in. U-joint's moving nice and free. Bound up on something though. Always a good time. You'll use the vise, try to squeeze it. Screw it. Use a bigger hammer. Right, so as predicted, we're bound up. So, maybe a bearing fell in there. This is always my suspicion. So, Hardway, I'm going to take this one side off. It's going to ruin the other side in the process. So, I'll be back in a minute, give you an update. Okay, so I forgot I was doing that wrong. I want to be tapping the yoke, not the end cap. Free it up. Let's hope this is good and we are good to go. So I'll spare you the next part in detail, but there's a big flange, it's either 10 or 12 9/16 bolts. I don't know what they are, 5/8, maybe 5/16, 7/16, who knows. But put them on the flange of the front axle, and I'll have to rotate the wheel, get the U-joint lined up. So here's what we're working with. Pretty boring, but that's next. Then we'll jack it up, and we've got to get the end of the drive shaft lined up with the yoke, and that's where we got to spin the wheel. So that's coming up. All right, kind of see me. So now we got to get drive shaft lined with yoke. This is where I'm going to jack up the front axle. That way I can spin the drive shaft to get it lined up. Hopefully it'll spin easy. Pop some U-bolts in that I got new. I think it'll start. That's the next thing. It's been sitting on this hill with basically no fuel for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And probably won't start because the fuel is all the way back in the tank. That'll be fun. All right, my jack setup is super sketchy. I'll show you this in a minute. But I have it set up in a way that I can at least spin the tire. So it's on a log. Everything's at a crazy angle. Bark's blowing off the log. Camera might fall because the jack might fall, the truck might fall. Anyway, just be ready. That I gotta pop this thing. I gotta try to figure out where two-wheel drive is in this transfer case in order to get the yoke to spin so I can get to the lower side of the U-joint, which is going to be fun. What do you think? Two-wheel drive? Two-wheel? Maybe? Let's see if she spins. Doesn't look like it. Think. Top in or bottom in? Let's try the bottom. Hey! Yeah, baby! Okay, grease that U-joint before I forget. Put her in 4 and I think we're good. Should be 4x4. Here's the nice jack setup I promised to show you. Crooked. Everything is wrong. Jack's probably gonna break. Bad angle. Good stuff. Climb in, we'll lower it down, climb in, see if it starts. See if we can back it off without breaking something. How predictable. Dead battery. Didn't see that one, I guess. Thought it'd be no fuel. Let's jump it. All right, I got a lot going on. I got the tractor charge up the truck. Compressor's going, do some other stuff. Got my $200 cheap Jeep starting. Haven't run that thing in over a month. Almost didn't start. Hardway garage. Finally moved. It's good. On to the next.